Hey guys, welcome back to this lecture, Instrumenting the Go application for the Prometheus matrix. So in this lecture, we will live implement or instrument the code in Go language, and we will see how we can get the matrix, and we will then scrap it inside the Prometheus and we'll create the graphs. Okay, so let us quickly start with the demo now. So the very first thing we need is we need a present working directory where we create the Go project, okay, where my code will live. So let's say currently I'm in my MNT directory. Let me create one directory here with name, let's say demo client library. Okay, let me go inside that. Now here I will create a simple Go application, okay, which will basically run an HTTP server and will expose few Go related metrics for on my HTTP endpoint. Okay, so I'll create a Go file here, let's say main.go, and inside this I will bring some content here directly, okay, and then we will discuss and understand what each and every line is doing this in this file. Okay, so for now I'll save it and we will take a step forward and then we will come back to this file and then we will understand. So I want you to understand it in a better way, so we'll come from in the reverse order. Okay, so we have created our project. Let's say now this is my project and this is my Go file which will execute. Okay, now the very first thing that we need to run this project or this Go file is we need to create a module, okay, for this and for our current project directory. So let us do one thing for that. So we need to run this go mod init command, which basically initialize the module for you, and then you need to give a distinct path. Okay, so this path is usually a path prefix that is used in the go.mod file to import the modules. So basically go mod init expects a module path which is recorded in go mod file. Okay, so let us give the name as, let's say, golang /m/v2. v2 is for the v2 version. Now I will hit enter here. So what it done, it had created a file for me, go.mod, okay, with module name is as module with the prefix as golang mv2. Okay, now let us see what actually happened in the file system. So it has created a file for me here. Okay, if I want to read it, so this is what it looks like currently. Okay, this is an empty file with just the prefix and the go version. Now the next thing it is saying, okay, creating new go.mod file module golang mv2 to add module requirement and sums. Okay, now it's time we add the requirement. So I already had created my go file here. So based on this file, it automatically gets the requirement. Okay, so let's see how it does. So I'll run this go mod tidy command here. Okay, so what it has done, finding module for package github.com Prometheus client golang Prometheus prom http. Now how does Go knows about this URL? Okay, that I'm looking a module for this package. So this is coming from my main.go file. Okay, so this is reading the requirement from the files which are in my current project directory, and the same way what it is doing, found, and then it was finding and then it found the module for that, and this is the path of it. Okay, now we have triggered it. Now let us again read our go.mod file and let's see how it looks like now. Okay, that's great. So it is saying now our module requires this particular package, and this package further and this module further requires, these are the further dependencies. Okay, now it's time we run or we install few packages before that, because these packages will be required by our function to call the libraries or to use the libraries. So these packages that we want to install is, the very first is client golang Prometheus package. Okay, so I'll tell you one by one what are these. So before that, let us just install these using these commands. So the first one was Prometheus client golang and then Prometheus. The second one is the prom auto, and the third one we will be installing is the prom http package. So let me quickly do it here as well. Okay, now what are these three packages? Okay, so these three packages basically belongs to your Prometheus client library for Golang language. Okay, now what and how it actually helps us. So this Prometheus package, okay, the very first one, it is the core instrumentation package. Okay, and it provides you metrics to instrument code for the monitoring. Okay, now let us come to Prom HTTP. Okay, now as this is the core package, so this Prometheus package has few sub packages. Okay, and Prom Auto and Prom HTTP is part of that package. So Prometheus package has few sub packages which allows to expose the registered metrics via HTTP. Okay, and that exposure is done by the Prom HTTP sub package. Okay, and your Prom Auto sub package basically provides some metric constructors, okay, with automatic registration, so your metrics get registered. So that capability is provided by Prom Auto. And if you want to instrument your code to push the metrics to push gateway, then you need to install push sub package as well. So in our demo we don't need it, so we'll not install it. Okay, now we know what are these three packages and why we are installing it. Now it's time. Now as I said earlier, now let us jump back to the code which we have written in main.go file, and then let us understand what we have done there. Okay, this is how a package starts here. Okay, so this is the main package. Here I am importing these two packages. One is net/http and then the second one, this prom http. Now why these two? Because in my code what I want, this net http. So let me first generalize it what it is, okay, and then we'll see how it will help us here. So now in Go language, net http provides you most of the http functionality. Okay, so the net http package not only includes the ability to make http request but also provides you the http server. Okay, so using that http server you can handle the request, your http request. So this is about the net http. Now how it helps us in this code, because we want to expose our metrics at an http endpoint, and if you want to expose that, then your application should have an http web server running. Okay, so that's where net http helps us. Now comes to the second package, github.com Prometheus client Golang Prometheus Prom HTTP. Now this package helps us to expose the Golang or our application's internal metrics to this HTTP web server, which is launched by net HTTP package. Okay, so this is how these two coordinates and helps us to in exposing the metrics. Now this is my main function. In the main function, what I'm saying, http.handles/metrics. Now prom HTTP handler. So in this particular package, there is one HTTP handler which we can use to expose the metric at this /metrics path. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Inside this package we are using HTTP handle, okay, always say handler, to expose the metrics at this particular subpath /metrics. And in the second line I am doing http.listen address and serve. Listen and serve means this process will run and listen at this particular port 2112. Okay, so this is how my code is structured. Now it's time we run it and check whether it is actually working. So let us do one thing, go and run, and then your main.go, and I want to run it in the backend. Okay, so that I can use the shell for other things as well. Okay, I have created it. Let's say if the process has created for this. So this is the PID generated by this command. So let us check what is this process. Okay, so this is the process that is running on this PID. Okay, now it's time we check for the port. Okay, what is actually getting, or are we getting the Prometheus metrics at that port or not? So the port number we have defined in the application code of main.go file was 2112. So let us see that. And the metrics path where it is exposed or where it is supposed to be exposed, then it was /metrics. Now let us hit enter here. Okay, so that's great. So here you can see we are seeing all the correlated metrics in the Prometheus format, like go GC duration, Okay, go routines, go info will tell you the version of the go version your application is running on. These are the mem stats. Okay, and go threads, number of threads running, but what is the CPU usage, how many process, or open file descriptors. Okay, maximum file descriptors. So these are the go metrics that we are getting in the Prometheus format. So we are able to instrument our code with the Go client library, okay, which is available from the Prometheus itself. So that is the official client library for Go language. So we were able to see how we can instrument our code, and then we tested it in the on that particular port whether we are getting the metrics or not. Now it's time we instrument our or we change our Prometheus configuration to scrape the metric from this particular endpoint. Okay, now before that, let me do one thing. Let me get the private IP of this machine. Let me keep it for later. Okay, now let us do one thing. So let's see if my Prometheus container is already running or not. Okay, so it is down currently. Let us start the Docker. As we have deployed the containers using Docker Compose, so as soon as Docker service comes up, all the containers are supposed to come up automatically. Okay, so that's the beauty of Docker Compose. So now let us see Docker PS. Okay, so all the containers are up, like 3, 6, 7 seconds. Okay, now it's time we update the Prometheus configuration file. So let us go inside the Prometheus configuration file so that we had in mnt Prometheus stack. Okay, so we have, if you remember, we have mounted that volume Prometheus YAML file inside the container to the host path, right? So we need to go inside that part where lib docker volumes and then the path of the container or the mount point of that particular container. So Prometheus stack, Prometheus config data primary / data, and now we have prometheus.yaml. Okay, so now in the scrap config, let us scroll down. Let us create a new job here. Job underscore name. I'll give it as Golang, let's say, or my sample app, let's say. I'll give it static configs because I know the endpoint is static in my case. Spelling here, otherwise container will fail. Now I need to specify targets. Inside that I need to give the private IP and the port number at which my metrics are exposed. Was 2112, I believe. Let me recall it. We can see it from here. 1288. Okay. I very frequently forget the things, so pardon me for that. 1288. Okay, this was the port number. Let me again check whether the endpoint is active or not. 288/metrics, and just move one extra slash from here. Let me cross check the port number. So I'm sorry, that was the PID actually. This is not the port number. So the port number is 2112. I was corrected at that point. I'm sorry. Okay, it is 2112. Okay, now let us save it. Now it's time we actually try to access our Prometheus console and see whether we are getting the metrics over there. So now let me quickly go to my public IP. Let me recall it if I have that. Okay, so here it is. So let it record. Okay, so I have stopped that server, so it must have changed. Let me quickly bring it up or get the public IP of that. Okay guys, so this is my public IP of the EC2 instance. Let me try to access it on 9090 port, and let us see whether we are getting the metrics or not. I'll make it admin and the password I'll share. Okay, let me log in. Let us quickly go inside the targets and let us see whether the new target is coming up. Okay, we are not seeing the new target. That's because we have not restarted the container of Prometheus. Okay, so let us quickly restart the Prometheus container here. Okay, this is my Prometheus container. Okay, now let's see whether it came up. Okay, it is up now. Now let us refresh it and let's see if the target is showing up here or not. Okay, seems like Prometheus is not healthy. Let us see what is the issue. Okay, it is restarting. So let us do one thing. Let us check the logs of this Prometheus. So guys, during the lecture we are doing the troubleshooting as well. So this will help you to understand, okay, how we can troubleshoot the issues with the containers. Okay, so now here it is saying error load config file cannot marshal map into target groups group. Okay, so there is something wrong with the Prometheus YAML file. So let us quickly check if the syntax is correct or not. Okay, so here we have this job underscore name, sample app, that's fine. Then we have static configs. Okay, so the issue is with the target string here. So there should be a space between hyphen and targets. Okay, so now we save it and again restart the container. Now let's refresh it. Okay, Prometheus is coming up now. Let us, okay, we are already on the target endpoint. Let's see if the new target came up here. Okay, sample app is here. Now let's see if it is healthy. It's unknown right now, so let it load. Okay, so my target is up and healthy now. We can see the scraping is working fine. Now it's time we actually visualize the metrics for Go application. So let us do Go. Let us search for Go here and let's see. Let's say I want to see the threads. Okay, let me execute this query here. Here we can see, okay, this is my sample app. So this particular thread is representing my job or representing my Go application. Okay, because this job is targeting the Go application and HTTP endpoint to get the metrics. Okay, so it is saying 6 number of threads are currently active. So this is how, guys, we can instrument our application code with the client libraries and we can visualize the data inside the Prometheus. So I hope you were able to understand it, and I'll also attach the instructions in the resources tab, so you will be able to find the instructions over there and you will be able to set it up in your environment. So that was all about this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.